Hello, world. How are you doing today? I'm doing good. I hope everybody else is doing good. It's Friday. It is I think this is the 31st episode of these interviews, and I'm now in a different room. So if you're keeping your scorecard at home for backgrounds, this is number 4. If you have all 4, you get bingo. So that's exciting. Today on the show, I have 2 of the newest members of our theater community here in Savannah. I say newest, they've been here a little while, but the Unvarnished Theater, I believe, was started last year, maybe a little before that, but they had their first performance last year with the Realistic Joneses. And I hear it was very good. I didn't get a chance to see it, unfortunately, because I was in a show at the same time. Odd how that happens. But I have them here with us today. I have Jennefer Morris and Meg Kelly Schroeder. Hi, guys. I'm going to unmute you. You're muted for some reason. There we go. That's better. Okay. How are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, doing really well.
I'm all right. I'm here in the kitchen and I'm close to the food, and I think that's most important.
I'm here with my puppy that I'm getting rid of, or I'm going to not get rid of, but hand him off. He just wanted to say a quick hello.
Hello, puppy. Does your puppy have a name?
He's our mascot for Unvarnished Theater.
Okay.
No, his name is Teddy.
Teddy.
Which feels a little wet right now.
Oh,
What'd you say?
Which means he's not house trained.
I don't think he's house trained. I'm putting him down and just taking my chances on whatever might happen.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
So, we haven't really had a chance to sit down and chat yet. Meg, I came and saw you at the Savannah Rep performance of Masha. I can't remember the name.
I know, right? I almost can't either. It's Vanya, Sonia, Masha, and Spike. And I played Masha.
You were Masha, yes. And I got to say, that was... I had done a show with them previously, just that past September. I was in Driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah, that was great.
Things are blurring together, but yeah, it was a great show. But I had the chance to preview your script and read it at home, and I have to say, I was not into it at all. As far as the script goes, I was like, this is really, really weird, and it reads so strange. But when you put it together in a live performance and you add the character and you add the timing and everything else, it was amazing.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was a great show.
Yeah,
and we had so much fun. It was a great cast. I love working with Savannah Rep. They were great.
Yeah, and
Jen and Eric.
Yeah, they're great. Jen was on the show not too long ago. I think about 2 weeks ago. But I've enjoyed having my time working with them. Carla Knudsen as well is a dear friend of mine, and the 2 of you together playing off each other was just incredible. But back to Unvarnished. Tell me a little bit about how you guys came about. Why did you decide to open Unvarnished?
Jennefer?
Well, sure, I'll take it away. Meg and I had been wanting to do a project together for a while, and we're both interested in the same, let's say, the same kind of stories. So that we really didn't see that there was a venue for those kinds of stories. Perhaps maybe a little bit, to not be obvious, but a little bit more unvarnished, a little bit raw, closer to the bone of what it is to be, I don't want to say that other theaters don't do this, but what it is to be really raw and human. And we just wanted to explore a different vein of storytelling. And so we thought, why don't let's join together and create it ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And I think we've been brewing this idea for a long time. And we finally hit a moment together where we both thought, this is the time right now. And it was exciting, and we didn't push it. We had a thrilling time, I would say, with the Realistic Joneses. It was just such an incredible experience.
Yeah, and we had the show. I remember that conversation, Meg. We were like, well, what show could we do? And we were like, because someone had just suggested the show to me, and I read it immediately. And then I said, here's a perfect show. It was a 4-person cast, and the fact that we didn't push it, it gained momentum. Our efforts gained momentum effortlessly, which was so nice. We never once hit a dead end. It was always a path forward.
Right.
To the production.
It was the perfect play for us to start with, and it almost made it so difficult to choose our second play, because we were like, oh no, this was perfect. Because I think our approach, just as the name suggests, is our set was very well done, I must say, thanks to my husband, Todd Schroeder. But it's very minimal, which is actually my husband's aesthetic. He's a painter and artist, and his minimalist design goes really well with the kind of theater that Jennefer and I are interested in doing. And like Jennefer was saying, we share, Jennefer and I share a sensibility. We share the same taste in so many scripts. When one of us reads something, we haven't had much argument over, no, not that one.
Right.
No, not that one. And when something hits, we both are like, wow, we like that. And I think, back to that idea of starting it, we knew we'd be a good pair for this, and so far so good.
Yeah, that's great. Is that your puppy?
That's my other dog.
Okay.
Yeah, the puppy's not barking that loud. That dog is far away from me right now and still piercing my ears.
That's funny. So you guys have come up with this way of working together. When did that first start? How long have you guys known each other?
Oh, wow.
Our husbands started teaching together.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Uh-huh.
We were both graduate students at SCAD.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we met
separately at different times, because we both moved here because our husbands got jobs teaching.
Okay.
We're both equity actresses in a city where there were no equity stages.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew of you, Jennefer, for, actually day one orientation. He came home and said, I met a guy whose wife is an equity actress. And I was like, oh, really? Wow. So, so it's culminated years later in us finally collabing.
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
think we both had babies on our hips at that time. When our husbands both came home and said,
we're like, really? Oh, cool.
Yeah, okay, could you grab that? So doing theater at that time, or like following that little thread, really wasn't as palpable an option as it came to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So as far as equity shows here in Savannah, there's basically next to nil. So for you guys to start an equity company here, I think is amazing. It's something that's been needed for a while. I know that Savannah Rep, of course, is also equity company. They're kind of on the ground floor of that as well. But it's nice to have that option for anybody who's seeking that as an opportunity and doesn't want to go too far away from Savannah. But again, being realistic Joneses, you do have to go out and seek those equity jobs. Talking about that a little bit, how has your experience been? I mean, you're both parents. I know it can't be full time for you guys to go out and do equity shows, but before this started, how was your experience with that?
With doing theater?
Yes.
Well, yeah. For me, I did theater occasionally when I could leave. But as you said, I went to New York a couple of times when my kids were younger, but then I started teaching also, and that got harder to leave. But yeah, I worked a lot in Cleveland. Cleveland has a really great theater community. They have I think when I was there, they had 12 stages that were equity theater. So you could actually work a lot.
Yeah.
And then obviously in New York, it's a different scene, and it's more competitive, but there's a ton of theaters there, obviously. So, yeah, I missed working so much, and I knew that I was never not going to continue working and acting in theater. So I love Savannah. So I'm like, let's do both things.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you, Jennefer?
Savannah, oh, well, for me, after I moved here to Savannah, I really didn't do any theater outside of, what I did at SCAD. I didn't leave and go do any theater. I do a lot of voiceover work, so that had me busy, and I could do that from home.
Yeah.
So that had me, I think, really kind of still tied into my performer self. That kept that part of my performer self active and alive. And but before that, I did a lot of equity theater in Denver, Colorado, on the West Coast. And I was surprised that there weren't any more venues here in Savannah, because I think it's such a ripe environment for more, professional theater. And I think especially now that Georgia's really on the map as for film and television production, that's going to feed that even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think I've always said that the more theater we have here, the better. It sometimes seems like we don't have the audience for it, but I feel like, and I think you'd agree with me, the more theater you have, the more audience you have, because they realize that it is something that they can target themselves toward. And of course, we're looking at, I don't want to say dark days ahead, but strange days ahead as far as theater goes, and what we're going to have to accommodate. But I think it's still, we have nothing but up to go here as far as theater goes. Was that a comment from the?
That's my 16-year-old.
I see. Excellent. Yeah, my 16-year-old is having. Go ahead. This is that dead air that I love.
Oh, I didn't. No. What does your 16-year-old want, Craig?
He wants a ride to. What now? He's like, why is this big? Anyway, let's go on. Let's talk about that.
It's all good. Yeah, my 16-year-old just got her license without ever having to take a road test. So that's kind of crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I missed that. Maybe my internet's. All I heard was that's kind of crazy.
Oh, I said my 16-year-old who was supposed to take a driving test right around this time has now gotten her license without ever having to take a driving test.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Putting us in even more danger.
Exactly. So our daily fight here is whether we let her drive down to the red and white right down the street, or whether we go with her. And I still haven't put her on her insurance, so that's always my card that I hold up.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you spoke of your next show. Are you ready to tell us what it is yet, or is it still on the hush and hush?
I don't think there's a reason to keep it on the hush and hush, but luckily we were just about to apply for the rights for it, which I think are available, right, Jennefer?
Yes.
Didn't you say that? the show we would like to do and had every intention of going forward with is The Mystery of Love and Sex by Bathsheba Duran.
Ah,
And it was a play done at Lincoln Center, and it's a 4-character play
mhm.
with one cameo of an old man. And smaller casts are really good for us as well. So yeah, it's a really interesting, edgy, a little risky.
Uh-huh.
It addresses a lot of subject matters that are very controversial, and yet it's not all about that. That's not what it's really about. So it's very, I would say, a bold play about love and relationships. What do you think, Jennefer?
Yes, I agree with everything you said. And the thing that I love about it is that it asks questions and it gives really no answers.
Mhm.
You know, it puts those questions out there, which I think that, you know, that's where we as, I'm getting philosophical here, but I think that's where we as human beings, we tend to fall into that human trap of thinking that we have to figure out all the answers, you know. But I think that that's one of the jobs of theater is
Yeah.
to ask the question and let's have a conversation about it. And it's okay, and realizing it's okay to not serve up the answer,
Mhm.
you know.
Which again are the plays that we're attracted to, the ones that don't wrap themselves all up in tissue paper at the end, and then you go and like, oh, thank God that happened, and I knew that was going to happen. So less plot-oriented plays, I think, are what we tend to be interested in.
Yeah. Messy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. David Poole, fellow theater person here, he says, take risks, make mistakes, and have epiphanies. I think that is very much true.
David.
Yeah. But yeah, that's exciting. You gave me I don't know what's happening in the background. Oh, my daughter's getting water right now.
No, that was very loud, daughter.
Yes. Very loud. She said, my bad. Which is great. Get messy. That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. David Poole says hello. So
hi, David.
Okay. All right. That's great to have David in the room and have my daughter just leaving the room. Bye, honey. Okay. Thank you. She's often in the background here, so I welcome that.
Yes, we do too.
Yeah. So I know that probably the plan was to do that closer to now. Do you guys know when you think that might come about now? I know that none of us really know.
I know.
But I imagine maybe the fall, possibly, hopefully.
It's very uncertain timeline. Yeah. And I think that we'll definitely know. Actually, I heard, and tell me if you guys heard this too. I heard that theater venues are able to open up under specific restrictions. You know, how many audience members, how they're seated, how many people are in the cast. You know, it's all about distance and numbers.
I think I've heard that as well. I can't be clear on whether that's actually occurring or not. I know there's some theater people watching now, so if David or Ryan, if you want to speak up and let us know if you've heard that as well. But I think that would be a great thing if we could do that.
I think the tricky part will be, you know, figuring out, so you're not going to sell many seats per show. And we already have, we're probably going to be in an intimate space to begin with.
Yeah.
And so there are complications with seating, you know, only 10 to 20 people a show, which is probably ultimately what we would be doing. But it'd be cool. It'd be fun. My thought is that if that's the case in the fall, that it's going to be too impossible to actually put on a production and afford to do it. I'd love to do readings.
Hmm.
You know, maybe I want to do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Yeah. We all want to do something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that I was set to be in Seussical at the end of this month. And of course, I don't see that happening, although someone at the Children's Theater may tell me different. I kind of, it's kind of pie in the sky right now, whether that's going to happen. But maybe, who knows? If they decide that people can sit like 2 chairs apart or whatever, then that might be doable. Ryan McCurdy says, cosine. Does that make any sense?
Cosine.
Cosine. Yeah.
Or like on a contract. Should we be buying a house together? Or I don't know.
Cosine.
Cosine on a loan.
Maybe that's what he's saying.
To cosine on your loan, Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, to
Bring it
David's comment. Okay, David said timelines. It will be tricky to
Listen.
determine the guidelines. And yeah, cosine. And then he says, okay.
To David's comment.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Hi, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan. Ryan won earlier. He won our earlier background bingo contest. So congratulations to Ryan. He counted all 4 backgrounds. So that's kudos to him.
Oh.
He's a true fan.
Yes. He said, but also let's buy a house. So.
Okay. How about a theater?
Rates are
Like
low,
theater.
right?
A theater would be great. I noticed recently that theater, that old movie theater over by Target, they're like renovating the inside. So that's
Really?
yeah. I don't know what's going on there. It's probably
They're
going to be another.
like a theater or renovating it,
I don't know. Maybe Trader Joe's.
furniture store.
Yeah.
There's such an urban legend around Trader Joe's coming
Yeah.
to Savannah, right?
Oh my God. I know. I've heard it so many times.
Yeah.
So I guess the poll is out there. Trader Joe's or a new theater. What do you guys think?
I hope it's a new theater, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Savannah's pretty suffering with movie theaters, which this is what I heard. I've read in several articles mid-pandemic that movie theaters are really going to suffer during this time, which, we'll see how everything resurges. But I think in Savannah, we need some more entertainment choices. I love that it has, the thing about Savannah, though, it's got such a vibrant community theater scene, so the audiences are definitely out there. And one thing that I've noticed, like when I've been to Savannah rep shows, and then when we had our sold out performances of The Realistic Joneses, the audiences were different. There were different demographics, which gives me heart. That there's enough to go around.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I definitely have enough people in the theater community watching right now to say so. Carla's building a tiny house.
Carla. Hi.
She wants to use it as a theater. I think that's a great idea.
What is
Yeah. I myself am building a shed out in the back, so maybe we could use that as well for very tiny performances.
Yeah, with just one audience.
Well, there's solo shows too.
That's right, 5-minute shows. Oh
Yeah.
no, that's something else. We won't go there.
We're getting creative.
Yes. Ryan says a theater complex with Trader Joe's and Zunzi's. I think that's a good idea. I love it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, they'll be in the audiences eating their sloppy falafel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm getting
sandwiches. They're amazing. Zunzi's, if you'd like me to sponsor, or you want to be my sponsor, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. Mini masked performances. Yes.
Or puppet shows.
What's that, Jennefer?
You could do puppet shows.
Yeah. Absolutely. And all
And
the
you do love and sex with puppets.
Yeah,
ooh.
yeah.
That would be fun.
That would be fun. You could do 2 characters. I could do 2 characters.
Yeah. You should talk to Chris Susi about that, although I'm not sure if that's his genre, but he's good with puppets from what I hear.
Oh,
Also, David Poole's good with
I'm a
puppets.
puppet fan. I love puppets.
I do too.
Yeah,
We
me too.
seriously should do a puppet show at some point, Jennefer.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Chris, though, I was going to say, I think what you're doing here and is so good, pulling everybody together in the theater world in Savannah. Because
Well,
I don't
thank you.
know, but I don't think that existed before you started doing all of this and interviewing people and just really bringing everybody together, which feels so good as a new company to have people like, yeah, hey, welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly enjoy talking to different people, and everybody has a different ideal of what they want. But I really feel like, I mean, there's only one central idea here, and that's we perform for the public, and it's a give and give relationship. I mean, and that's the greatest thing that you can have. And if we're not talking to one another, what are we doing?
Right.
Yeah.
One thing I'm kind of curious about is if all of this, the pandemic is going to change the conversation. How will it change the stories that we tell, the stories that we're inspired to tell?
Sure.
I think
Yeah.
that's kind of interesting.
Okay.
My sister suggested we write something specifically for a pandemic audience, and I was like, I've got a lot on my plate, Karen. I can't write it.
All the playwrights are rolling their eyes right now. They're
I
like,
know.
yeah, let's write something.
Yeah, gotta be
I think-
creative. Use this time to be creative, guys.
I think there's like everybody's on one side of the argument there for sure. I personally am one that wants to be at least putting something out. If it's not a creative writing, then at least a voice. I think we all have a voice to use right now, and that's
I know.
important.
I totally agree. I totally agree with you, Chris. I just feel like whatever you're doing, whatever you need to do right now, I don't want to feel any pressure to have to be creative, because then I shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Like that feeling of like, oh, you've got all this time on your hands. You should be using it wisely. And I feel like there's a lot of pressures coming at people right now, including artists of all kinds. And this is my excuse to say it's okay if I'm not doing anything.
It's totally okay. It is totally okay. I mean, everybody is dealing with this in the way that they should, and most of us anyway. I would say that some people are not dealing with it.
Sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm not.
Let's see. Yes, Chris Susi says the call for quarantine scripts is overwhelming. So
I agree. Yeah, that overwhelming feeling.
Yeah.
It'd be cool. But
yeah, if you're looking to invest in anything right now, probably pandemic scripts is the way to go.
Yeah.
Oh God, we're going to be so sick of it by the time it's over. We don't want to relive it.
No. This is the long day's journey into night, I guess.
Oh my God, I can't believe you just said that, Chris. I have been going to film my family because I have 2 sons and they were both home. My other son was home from Brooklyn with his girlfriend for 6 weeks here while New York was going through the thick of it. I know they're still in it, but anyway, I was going to film our version of Long Day's Journey into the Night and cast my sons and myself, of course. It was really an opportunity for me to be dramatic.
Right.
But, and then I was going to cast my daughter as the drunken maid, which is kind of appropriate.
Yeah. I think it's perfect. It's perfect. Are you going to do it? Do it.
Jackson went back to Brooklyn, but if he's going to come back, so I might. It was that was where I was feeling all the pressure to.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You know, I want to jump in and just say that there are so many ways to be creative other than, you know, I am an actor. This is the only way I can be creative. You know, and I think people are tapping into that right now, cooking and gardening and, you know, you're bringing a puppy into your family. You know, that's an act of creation too. So I think so much about creating art that, I mean, this is kind of a big, I love that. One thing that I love about this time is that it's just a big pause button, you know, that I have sat on my porch more than, you know, I usually do. So there are so many challenges out there, and I don't want to throw shade on those challenges at all. But, you know, I think that it is a good time for artists to reflect and go inward. That's such an important thing for us to do, to buoy ourselves up, because when the time comes, and it will come, the doors are going to open again, and for us to be ready to step through and be able to tell stories.
Wow. Well, I think that is an excellent way to put a pin on this conversation, because that's all we should do right now is just keep building up that creative energy. Whether it's you're using it right now, that's definitely a way to keep it churning, because I do think it's the engine that keeps going, but also to just, you know, hold it in to a certain degree. That's and then let it out when we're ready. Hi, Molly. Molly's here. I do not, but we will find it right after I'm done.
Molly.
Great.
Let's see. Yeah. Final word: long day's journey with puppets. Let's make it happen, folks.
Okay, I'm in. I'm in to all of that.
That's awesome. So one last question. What are you guys binging on?
Oh gosh, I just finished binging Ozark season 3.
I keep hearing about that.
Yeah.
And just to Ryan McCurdy's point, who wanted to give me his Netflix password, I've got one, so now I can watch it, Ryan. So it's okay now. I can watch Ozark and I can watch Tiger King. Meg, what about you?
Oh God, I did Tiger King. I loved it. Of course. And I'm like the only person on the planet, although I'm not, I just got into season 2, that I'm like the only person on the planet that is not in love with Ozark. The first season was not doing it for me, but I'm going to keep going. There are things I really do like about it, and there's some acting I really like in it, but I don't know. I watched The Killing of a Sacred Deer, which is not a binge thing. It's a film that you have to sit and really concentrate on, but it was an amazing movie, and I hadn't seen it yet, so that's my
I'm gonna write that down.
It's super disturbing.
Yeah,
it's disturbing.
Awesome.
But it sounds disturbing.
Yeah, so watch it during quarantine. What does that
David
say?
says Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write
And
that down.
Teresa Michelle, I'm not sure that I know Teresa, but she says
Teresa,
Little Fires Everywhere.
I loved that. I watched all of that, and I loved it.
I'm gonna write that down too.
Yeah. Watch that. I've got more. Making the Cut. That was my veg out and snack show that I watched like 4 in a row. Making the Cut. That's fashion.
If we can get anything out of this, then it's our next watch list. I think that's important.
Yeah. I hope there was more, Chris. Come on. Anyway.
All right, guys. Well, I look forward to seeing your show when it does finally happen, and I know that it will. And
people can go to unvarnished.org, or if they ever want to email us, we're at Unvarnished Theatre, Theater, Unvarnished Theatre at gmail.com.
Okay, and I'll put those links in this broadcast so people can quickly find you guys. But Jennefer, Meg, it's been a joy to talk to you today. I love that you got a puppy. That's amazing.
Yeah.
My wife keeps asking me if we can get one. We have 3 cats, so I'm like, I don't know. I'm on the fence, but maybe.
It's fun, but yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah.
I think I have puppy pee on me right now through the whole interview. I'm just waiting to take it out.
Life is messy. Jennefer, are you going to go get a puppy now?
No. I'm
That's
good.
a
I
very
got
quick
a dog,
answer.
I got a cat, I got 3 kids. I'm good.
All right. You guys have a wonderful Friday. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Can't wait to see theater this year at some point, guys.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow. Thanks to the Unvarnished Theatre here in Savannah and Jennefer and Meg for being on the show. I hope that you have a lovely weekend. I will be back here next week with more guests and more show. I think actually Monday we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to push my time to 5:30. So come back at 5:30 to enjoy that. But thank you for joining me. Goodbye.